This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's a cloudy evening in Osaka, Japan, while Santiago, Chile is rising to a cool morning. Here in the Worldcrunch newsroom in a warm and sunny Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. Dozens more Palestinians are killed in ongoing Gaza aid site shootings. Austria mourns after school shooting. And our daily quiz question is about a Beijing auction house's record-breaking sale. In our top story today, mass arrests in Los Angeles ensue as police enforce a partial overnight curfew amid the recent anti-immigration protests. Effective at 8 p.m. local time, a 1 square mile area of downtown LA is on lockdown, a decision aimed to address looting and violence. This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump expanded extraordinary federal military deployment to quell protests, which prompted a lawsuit by California Governor Gavin Newsom. Protests have begun to spread beyond LA to at least 9 other major U.S. cities, including New York and Chicago. Israeli forces opened fire again near aid sites in Gaza, killing 36 people and injuring more than 200, and raising total death tolls from the U.S.-backed aid distribution system to at least 163. In our More Than a Minute feature today, French political analyst Pierre Haski focuses on unprecedented sanctions from several Western nations against 2 Israeli far-right government ministers. Haski's France Inter piece was translated by Worldcrunch, and the English audio was produced with automated voice technology. Pierre, tell us about the meaning of these sanctions.
C'est une première des ministres israéliens. For the first time, Western sanctions have been imposed on Israeli government ministers as if they were low-class Russian oligarchs. This was inconceivable until recently, as Israel has long enjoyed an unspoken impunity in the West. On Tuesday, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand and Norway targeted Israel's 2 most prominent far-right figures, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich and Internal Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. They are accused of inciting violence against Palestinians by Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank. This violence has increased by 1,200% since October 7, 2023. Communities have been harassed and evicted, olive trees uprooted, and cars set on fire. These sanctions illustrate the brutal deterioration in relations between Israel and some of its partners. The way Israel is waging war in Gaza, the humanitarian blockade, and the resumption in March of massive bombardments on the population are provoking increasingly critical reactions. Those who initially accepted Israel's right to self-defense after October 7th now find the Netanyahu government's violation of international humanitarian law indefensible.
Beyond the 2 politicians targeted, what do these sanctions mean for Israel as a whole?
They should act as a wake-up call to Israeli society, a way to make it aware that this government's radicalism is gradually isolating the country from some of its friends. The West has been accused by the Global South of practicing double standards, being firm with Russia while reacting timidly to the mistreatment of the Palestinians. Although divided on the topic, the countries of the European Union will soon be considering a Commission report on the EU-Israel Association Treaty. The breach of human rights clauses is obvious. The consequences are less clear and do not meet with consensus among the 27 EU member states. The most outspoken countries could be forced to take unilateral measures.
But will the sanctions actually push Israel to change what it's doing in Gaza?
In this context, the Israeli government is doubling down. It must be said that it enjoys the support of the Trump administration on this front, which carries more weight than European objections. Trump's ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, known for his closeness to the Israeli settler movement, suggested Tuesday that if a Palestinian state were to be created, it could be in a Muslim country, not in the West Bank and Gaza. In other words, a population transfer which constitutes a war crime. 8 days before the conference in New York, co-hosted by France and Saudi Arabia, aimed precisely at advancing the 2-state solution, the U.S. ambassador's statement serves as a sharp reminder. Washington no longer supports this option, which the current Israeli government also rejects. Tuesday in Paris, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert and former Palestinian Foreign Minister Nasser al-Kidwa jointly voiced their support for a two-state solution. For now, these voices remain marginal and carry little weight, much like the sanctions against the two incendiary ministers. But in the Palestinians' desperate situation, they are at least a sign of life and a break in the deafening silence surrounding a tragedy that has dragged on for too long. Qui dure depuis trop longtemps.
Turning to today's front pages, Australian daily Die Presse is covering the aftermath of Tuesday's deadly school shooting in the country's second-largest city, Graz. A 20-year-old former student killed 10 before taking his own life. Why was Die Presse's front-page headline. Authorities have yet to confirm a motive, though reports suggest a history of bullying. And we're closing things out today with our daily quiz question. A Labubu monster-like toy sold for a record-breaking $150,000 at a Beijing auction house on Tuesday. What made this particular one so special? A. It belongs to the first batch produced in 2019. B. It is covered in Swarovski crystals. C. It is human-sized. Or D. It went to the International Space Station. The answer is C. A Labubu figurine sold on Tuesday for 1.8 million yen, approximately $150,000, at Beijing's first ever auction dedicated to the popular collectible toy, having the particularity of being human-sized. That's the latest from around the world. For more of the best of the international press, delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. À demain!